It was OSU got out-coached, outplayed.
Lucas Raymond is also from Sweden, so he's an anytime goal scorer for one of those 2 games they have in Sweden. So I don't know which one it is, but it's going to be one of the 2, so lock that.
This doesn't make any sense. I was pissed. Fumble recovery happened. I'm going to be honest, I turned off the game. I checked back in. That was a fine.
D-back here, baby. Come on.
They're walking up to the table blind. I'm betting fucking blind.
Welcome back to another episode of Sharp Sports Network. It's another Wednesday evening, which can only mean one thing. It's another recap episode of all things NFL and college football. But that's not all. We also have a little bit of MLB playoff as well as puck luck picks. It's going to be a good episode, and we have a guaranteed 2 out of the 4 here tonight. You might possibly get 3. You might possibly get 4. But all that we know right now is we have 2. You got McDilly, you got Tycho. And that's what you got right now. You might get Snoop Luke, you might get the Wander. If they're here, great. If not, we're going to rock it out, the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 2 of us.
If you could just fucking get on with the podcast, that'd be amazing. I am dealing with the mortgage company, and you're over here singing.
I thought I was going to be just me for a while, so I was like, I'll just let Tyler do his mortgage thing, and I'll just have fun with the people. Alrighty, so we're going to kick it off here with NCAA football, recapping what needs to be recapped. Starting off with Friday night, Arizona State and Utah. Oh boy, Cameron Rising made his return back to Utah, and I'm not sure if this was Cam Rising or not. It might have been somebody else in a different uniform because he came out there, threw 3 interceptions. I don't think he had 50% completions in his passing. He didn't. 16 for 37, barely cracked 200 yards. It was bad. And what did ASU do? They continued to roll as underdogs. Loved the +6. Scatabo going crazy. 27-19 was the final. Shout out to ASU. What do they do? Forks up? Whatever it is. Shout out to them. Next game. A lot of blowouts. Alabama and South Carolina, number 7, Alabama, came into this game, and a lot of people were like, this is a get-right spot. This is a blowout spot for Alabama. And that was not the case. First quarter was good. Start of the second quarter was good. They actually found themselves with a 14-0 lead. But then things started to take a turn going into halftime, and by the start of the second half, all the momentum was with South Carolina. Sellers was playing great ball, took the lead over Alabama, but like has happened several times, Lenore Sellers grabs a lead, and the defense and the boys can't hold it. Alabama comes through in the end, 27-25, winning off of holding South Carolina to a 2-point conversion that was not made to end the game. Back-to-back weeks now that Bama has not looked like Bama, and let's just say the rest of their schedule does not get easier. So we're gonna see what happens there. Next game we got Iowa over, hit, easy money. You're welcome. Just, did it by themselves, but it is what it is. Wisconsin and Rutgers, they put me on an island, and boy, do I shine on my islands. Rutgers, you were having a 4-1 season, and everyone was like, wow, you know what? Maybe Rutgers is going to have a really good year. And then they shit the bed. 42-7, the run game that they've been known for getting going was not at all there, and Wisconsin doubled down on theirs. There was no chance. All right, let's move into the 4 o'clock window, where the real action started. Kicking it off with number 1, Texas, and number 18, Oklahoma. It was a bloodbath here, man. It was the Red River rivalry turned into the Red River ass beating. Just straight up ass beating. Texas won 34-3. That was the final. Quinn Ewers honestly had a game that he needed, not for the yards and the picks and that, but he had a game where he could just get back, just get right, get a big win over a huge ranked team, and then now Texas goes from there. They prove that they're the number 1 team, and, there should be no questions around that. Next, Illinois and Purdue. Didn't think we were going to have to talk about this game, but this was actually one of the most exciting games of the week. Purdue, who is just known to, anytime they're in a situation where they're playing bad football, has a situation where they play a top 25 team, they play their best ball. And they took Illinois to the absolute limit. 50-49 was the final of this football game. 99 points were scored in an absolute shootout that nobody saw coming, and Illinois escaped with a victory. So shout out to Purdue. They have a top 5 matchup next week that we will be talking about Saturday. Number 4, Penn State going to USC. USC was in the upset spot. Oh, man, did it feel good. Oh, man, did it look good. So good that we went into overtime of that game, and I was still feeling very confident with me and Tyler riding on the Trojans. Now, there was one thing that I did not account for. Why they decided to just only throw the football, I don't know. Nick Singleton only got the ball 10 times. They threw the ball 43 times, 3 interceptions, almost 400 passing yards. They were just airing this bitch out against Miller Moss. And that was the one thing I don't think anybody really was game planning for. And if they weren't doing that, every sign would have pointed to USC winning this game. But God damn it, it wasn't what the college football gods had intended. And Penn State wins in overtime. Tennessee and Florida, a game that Florida felt like, hey, we don't need to win, but we just can't get destroyed. And that's exactly what happened. They did not get destroyed, but they did not win. 23-17 was the final. They split both QBs right down the middle like they've been doing the last couple weeks. Graham got half the game. DJ got half the game. They split the snaps 50-50, but it didn't matter. Nico, I will say, I know he's Tyler's boy in this and that, so be careful with what I say. This was definitely his worst game of the year. 16 for 27, 160 yards, and an interception. He couldn't get a lot going. But on the contrary, this was the best Tennessee rushing game they've had all year. So you can make the argument that if one thing wasn't going, at least another was. And also that defensive line, in my opinion, is the best defensive line in all of football. So you have that. Number 13, LSU, and number 9, Ole Miss. This was a great game. It was a game that, honestly, I needed because, holy shit, was it a rough week for me in college. And LSU was really my only bright spot here. LSU money line with the +4. They come out, they get the win 29-26 because their defense finally woke up at home in Death Valley. Once again, it was another great football game by Jackson Dart with a key interception. Ended up being what cost them the game in total. We get into overtime, and overtime was where, if you've watched LSU football the last couple of years, you don't go into overtime with LSU, especially at Death Valley. That's a fucking death sentence. So LSU won that football game. Next, number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, the Oregon Ducks. This was the best game of the week, not just because of the high-profile matchup, not just because of the back and forth, but because of how good the game was and eventually how it ended. Oregon and Ohio State came into this one in a back-and-forth shootout. It went Will Howard. Then it went Dylan Gabriel. Then it went a big catch to Jeremiah Smith. And then Evan Stewart. God, Evan Stewart, I think, almost had 200 receiving yards this game. 150 receiving yards and a touchdown on 7 receptions for Evan Stewart. Absolute back and forth, down to the wire. We get to the last possession of the game with Oregon up 32-31. 7 seconds left on the clock. Will Howard does a QB scramble. Thinks he has 2 seconds on the clock, but what he doesn't realize is he did have 2 seconds on the clock when he ran past the first down marker and slid, which would have been the 2 seconds he needed for the first down to hit, go up to the line with the clock stopping, spike the ball with 1 second, game-winning field goal, Ohio State, or at least having a chance to hit that field goal. What unfortunately happened is Will Howard slid down. There was 0 seconds left on the clock, looked up, realized his mistake, put his hands on his head, and Ohio State lost the game 32-31. Oregon storms the field, and in their first year in the Big Ten, they go out and beat off one of the biggest juggernauts in the Big Ten, Ohio State. Huge win for the program, huge win for the Duck. Next, Iowa State, West Virginia. These country roads didn't take anybody anywhere. It took Iowa State to another victory. I'm just going to stop. I've done the math. I'm 0 for 3 against Iowa State this year. I faded them 3 times. They have won 3 times. They're a top 10 team. I'm done. I'm stopped. Okay? I've fucked up. I've had my errant ways, and I can admit where I went wrong. That was where I went wrong. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Done. Garrett Green, you're not as good as you think you are. Next. Kansas State, Colorado. 10 o'clock game that had a lot of people buzzing because, boy, was this a good one. I think that this game was, in my opinion, a very defensive game, which is weird because the finish was 31-28. But Colorado played great defense, especially in the first half of that game. I don't want to use the word especially twice. And also, like that, Kansas State did as well. So we went into halftime of this being a great defensive game. And at the end of the day, there's one play that only comes to mind that I want to talk about because everything else in this game was, good plays here, good plays there. Interception, fumble, regular football. But Colorado had a 4th down and 3 situation at the end of the football game and went for a 45-yard double-covered pass that I just think was the worst play call of the week for college football. And if you are audio listeners, Snoop Luke and Tycho have joined in to talk about, we really just went through all of college, so I guess if there was anything that stood out to you guys this week in college, you can talk about it.
What stood out to me is you not even mentioning the fact that Oregon's coach had an 8 million IQ fucking play, throwing too many men or 12 guys on the field for defensively to drain off like 4 or 5 seconds left when there was only 11 seconds.
Yeah, he could have taken the 5 yards or the 5 seconds.
Which then led into Howard fucking sliding into it.
Call it what it is.
I talked about that.
Dan Lanning rule.
No, I know. But like if Oregon doesn't do that, then Ohio State still has enough time to fucking call timeout.
Oh yeah,
I agree, but it's also
it's a million IQ play.
Yeah, I agree. It's a million IQ play on Dan, but I also agree it's just as much on the quarterback for
And just on cue, after the game ends, Ohio State crybaby fans are whining and complaining so much that the NCAA has changed the rule within days.
No, you got outsmarted. You got outcoached. You got out-footballed. You got out-footballed.
They can't accept when they get out-coached and outplayed.
Out-footballed. And
out-footballed.
Ryan Day
is
a coach. Ryan Day is a coach that Ryan Day and Dan Lanning were both going into this game. It did not matter for them how this game went. It mattered from the media's perspective. Whoever lost this game, Dan Lanning or Ryan Day, were going to get smacked in the media. But the fact that Dan Lanning did what he did, and then the bitching is what it is, it just incentivizes the slander on Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Which I know you love, Luke.
I do, because now he's only, 1-7 against top 5 teams?
Yeah, and the last couple, yeah.
Ryan Day refuses to win the big games.
2 of those were against Clemson. 2 of those were against Michigan. Yeah, he can't win the big ones, man. It's tough. But
look, when every big game you play in, you're also you're playing top 5 teams or whatever, right? We're 1-7. You also have a top 5 team in all those games. It's a top 5 matchup. It's not like Ohio State's going into these matchups like, oh, they're 15 or they're 25 and they're playing a top 5. No, they're top 5. The other team's top 5, and they keep fucking losing these games. You got to get them out of there.
Tyler, do you have anything that stood out to you this week in college football that you want to touch on before we go to NFL?
Yeah, my Heisman winner is fucking floating right now.
Yeah, you went in there against a Hawaii defense, and I give you a hint. Over or under 200 yards. And if it helps the fucking case, he had 31 carries.
Over.
You're damn right. 217 yards. So I think it's honest work. I think it's very funny how a lot of the I only saw 2, so I can't say all. But Reggie Bush and goddamn it, who was the other one? Not Barry Sanders, but there's another one, I can't remember. They were talking about how, it must be nice to get 31 carries a game. If I was getting 31 carries a game, I would have had, Gene T's numbers, this and that. When there was literally been a stat of a game with Reggie Bush having 38 carries in a game and not having 100 rushing yards in that football game. So my thing is, you can make the argument of the carries and this and that, but at the end of the day,
No, you can't. No, you can't.
If I give Tyler a football 30 times in a football game,
The
that
only
doesn't fucking guarantee he's
the
gonna
No,
only
you can't make that argument because most of the time he doesn't even play the fucking full game.
That's yes,
not-
also
He's
true.
not even
That's
getting
true.
overworked. Sometimes he's out at the halftime. Sometimes he's out after the third quarter. Like he's
Yep.
not playing the full game and he's still putting up video game
the
numbers.
only thing I could say is
Also true.
where is that just like one game for them that they pulled the stat from? And has every game from that dude has he had like over 100 rushing yards every game?
He's had
I'm
over
not,
200 rushing yards every game.
Yeah. Jeez. The only thing
No.
I can say is like maybe if they had more game like all their games with like 30 carries, then I could see what they're talking is like if he maybe
He's
then, but
averaging
like if he's
200
every single
yards a game.
Luke,
game, then
he's
yeah,
averaging-
you can't really argue that.
He's averaging 10 yards a carry.
200 yards a game.
Yeah.
And arguably, Boise State should have beat Oregon, and he is the reason why.
Imagine if they had O-line.
Imagine, bro. Imagine. You know how?
Hey,
you know how?
no.
You know what's
Give
gonna
him-
be fucked up? One of these O linemen is gonna get fucking drafted because of Gene T, and he's gonna fucking bust. And it's not his fault because Gene T made him look super good. But
Nah, give him Michigan's O line last year and the year before that.
he would
Dude,
literally
he would
he'd only play the first quarter in every
Just give
game.
him a functionable O-line. It doesn't have to be the best in the nation. Just give him a O-line.
but just imagine
Anyone.
he'd get like fucking 300, 400 rushing yards a game, probably be up by 50 every single time at half.
Can
Bro,
it just be functionable
telling
humans?
He would not play after the first quarter. It would be 35-0.
That's also
at
true.
5
Yeah.
touchdowns already, and it's
He wouldn't play.
the game is already over. He doesn't have to play.
Dude, he would have 7 carries, and every carry he had would be to the house.
I'm here for it. But that's not reality. His real situation is he puts the entire fucking team on his back every week and gets them a big enough lead to where he's like, okay, guys, you're up by 30. Take me out.
Yeah, it's very true.
Respect.
All right. That is college football, so let's quickly move into the NFL. We got a lot to cover here, so we're trying to do things, that was pretty quick. I
Nah,
think that 15 minutes.
nah. Let's switch it up.
Ooh, you want to go to baseball?
Sure.
All right. Let's
Dive
go to
sports.
baseball. Okay. Let's go to baseball. So MLB, the playoffs are here. The playoffs are near. ALDS or AL. Sorry.
Did you really
LCS.
just only say that because it rhymed?
Of course. Why else would I say it?
Just there is no other reason.
That was. I mean,
There is no other reason.
I don't think you really had to ask that question. I think you already knew the answer. But let's get into the NLCS, ALCS. Ah, shit! I just realized we haven't really talked about how we fucking got here yet. Damn it.
No.
AL,
As depressing as a conversation as it is. have
ALDS
not had
game
that conversation.
number 5. The Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Guardians took place, and the Guardians won 7-3. Lane Thomas with a huge grand slam got that win done for them. The Tigers' Cinderella storybook season comes to an end. Cleveland is now taking on the Yankees, and it's hard for me to really give my thoughts on that game, and I already have thoughts on the Yankees series, so I'll just let you guys go.
It was tough, but I have moved on because we weren't even supposed to be there.
all I will say is it sucked, but I am getting so far. I'm getting everything I've wished for in
Here's
the
my
Yankees and Guardian series.
Here's my question. What do you expect from the Tigers next year / in the offseason? Like, do you expect us to come out next year and just be good because all the young guys are good? Or do you think that we had lightning in a bottle and we're going to start off slow and people are going to be pissed?
I mean, we had lightning in a bottle, but here's the thing.
Like, can you carry that over?
What I expect is for us to spend money to get bets.
Yep.
If we don't do that and we just get the shitty excuse, look what these guys did last year, and we're just gonna roll with it again. I will not spend a dime at Comerica Park because I'm not gonna give them my money when they don't want to spend their money to actually make this team good and give me a product.
$8 million payroll. It's not cutting it. Dylan?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's simple. Well, the answer to your question is what they do in the offseason. If they don't do anything in the offseason, we all know what they're going to be next year.
This is not sustainable.
They're going to be
what
what they were this year without the baseball gods having their thumb up our ass. That's what they're going to be.
Yeah.
And then if we go out and we do what we do, if we go out there and we get a shortstop, a third baseman, a first baseman, the bats that we need, I think that it's going to make a whole difference.
I think you slide Keith over to first. Then you don't have to find a first baseman.
Yeah, but then you just get rid of Torque for nothing because no one's going to take him on the market. If you can at least get Torque,
Torque's giving us nothing.
I know, but you can at least get
Torque still has years. A lot of these guys still have years.
You use that young upside and his age right now to get the most value for Torque.
I don't want Torque on the team. I don't want Javier Baez on the team.
Agreed.
Javier Baez on the roster.
And one more. There's only 3 people I don't want. I don't want Javi, I don't want him, and I don't want Trey motherfucking Sweeney. I know everyone's going to say, oh, but he's Javi. He still sucks.
Trey Sweeney.
Bro.
Trey Sweeney. Look, bro. Trey Sweeney will start the year probably in AAA.
Yes.
Trey Sweeney will still remain on the roster. He won't be on the MLB roster, but he'll be.
That's what I mean.
Be in the
amount. We need an entirely
But he needed to play because there was no Javier Baez, or else Javier Baez sadly would have been playing. But we probably would have never made it to that point. But
okay, not everyone in the infield, but we need an entirely new infield. Because God,
Colt Keith slander will not be tolerated.
I said not everybody.
And Colt Keith can't.
When you say an entirely new infield, it's kind of insinuating everyone when you say it.
I will say,
but I did specify not everybody.
His last 2 months at second base were not pretty.
Yeah.
But if that was
of double plays or just
well, he's on a 7-year back contract. So
the amount of double plays that we missed and not even recording an out on these potential double plays was fucking insane in play.
Oh, it was atrocious.
Absolutely insane. Our offense sucked and a big reason why we lost, but honestly, that is another big reason why we lost because every fucking time we had an opportunity to get out of an inning or do something. Oh, look at Sweeney just bobbled another ground ball. He couldn't make the throw and decided not to throw it to first because he bobbled it too long and now the guy's already at first. It is insane the amount of times we fucked that one up in playoffs.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, the good thing is that, like Tally said, there's a lot to build off of, especially coming off of if this was just a season where the season ended, regular season was over, we'd be like, okay, you better do something in the offseason. I think now, after what the Tigers did, a lot of more people are expecting them to do something in the offseason. It's more of like, okay, they're going to now because they know that they could be contenders.
We're expecting these young bums that fucking don't know how to play in the infield to be down in AAA and actually get people who can actually play and are proven in the infield. Our outfield set.
To Dylan's point, though, before Luke gets carried away and yells at people, what scares me, though, is the fact that I don't think, the fact that it was unexpected, gives me the idea that they're not going to spend because they're going to be like, we weren't supposed to be there yet.
That's when you spend. That's when, in theory, all these other teams have spent.
But does Chris know that? Mike knows that. Mike's dad. No. Does Chris know that? We've never, ever seen him spend money except for on one terrible contract to Javier Baez. I don't
care if our owner does. Our owner, it doesn't mean
but here's the thing.
He spends the money.
But Dylan, our GM has to ask our owner for the money to go and spend that. So he can want all he wants, but if our owner doesn't let our GM does it.
You don't think we're gonna go and fucking? You know how much? You know we have the 4th highest cap space in the MLB. We're not gonna do anything with that.
You know how long the Oakland Athletics have had the fucking whatever lowest cap space?
Leave Oakland. They don't want to be a baseball team anymore. They're trying to go.
It's been forever.
They don't want to play baseball, Ty. They don't want to be a team.
But even when they were good,
play badminton.
when they
don't wanna
were
be a
good,
baseball
they
team.
didn't pay people. When they
We
played us in the
knew.
American League, well, who did Magley Ordonez hit the home run off of? The A's. When they were still paying nobody. Like some teams, some owners think, oh, we don't need to pay people because we'll still make money and we're still obviously good with young people.
What
That's
was the
why it's a
conclusion?
problem.
Hey, what was the
I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it's a reality.
What was the conclusion of Moneyball? Yeah, they made playoffs with fucking spending nothing, but they didn't make shit.
Okay,
didn't
Moneyball
make
ruined
it.
baseball. You really want to get into it? Moneyball ruined fucking baseball.
Yeah,
The way
and that's what the
Moneyball-
Tigers
Moneyball
try to
played,
do. They hit
ruined.
lightning in a bottle, just like the fucking A's did that one year.
Yep.
And they didn't make it past the second round either. And well, Tigers didn't make it past the second round.
Right.
But still, my point still stands.
Your point is made.
But it's like, oh my God, I just hate it because honestly, if we didn't hit lightning in a bottle like we did at the end of this year,
We weren't going to spend.
fuck, dude, we're basically the A's.
Yeah,
We're
we
just
weren't
like,
going
yeah,
to
let's
spend.
just not do shit. Now,
Yeah, because I mean, we wouldn't have spent this off season. Like, we wouldn't have done anything.
But
so,
now
like,
that we did what we did, I'm very confident. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not. I don't have that worry at all.
I'm
very-
hoping. I'm not.
I don't have hope. I'm confident. Like I expect us to,
but I don't understand how you can be.
because it would be utterly.
He's
tough.
never proven to you that he'll spend money.
What is proven to me right now is that the Detroit Tigers would go down as one of the dumbest decisions in baseball in the last 10 years if they don't come out and they strike when the iron's hot. 100%.
I don't care if they spend money. If Javier Baez is on the team.
All right,
Yeah.
we got to move on. Dodgers and Mets. Let's talk about this series. Dodgers and Mets. All right, so when it comes to the Dodgers and the Mets series, it has been a tale of two games. So the first game was all Dodgers. Dodgers came out, they raped them. They said, let me rephrase. The Dodgers came out and beat the shit out of them. I don't want to get demonetized, all right? I got a little bit of sense. Dodgers won 9-0. It was bad. It was just an absolute ass beating from start to finish. They come out game 2, and the Mets say, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to win 7-3. 7-3, just turn the tables on you completely. Francisco Lindor, whenever he produces, Vientos, whenever he produces, the team wins. Those two guys, it's very simple. They produce, probably going to win. If they don't produce, like game 1, probably going to lose. Today, we have game 3, where the series is currently tied 1-1 back in New York. And I know that I'm probably an idiot for asking this question, but because you're on the podcast, I'm going to do it anyway. Tyler, how do you see the rest of this series playing out?
Dodgers are winning the World Series, so I don't think it fucking matters how this series plays out. Dodgers win the series in however many games it takes, and then they go on and win the next series in however many games it takes, and I win my money.
It was very analytical. Luke?
As much as I hate the Mets and everything, I think they have a really good shot to win this series. They really have just been playing some fucking ball. And the Dodgers are the Dodgers, but at the same time, I feel like the Mets kind of caught them off guard.
Their pitching is destroyed. I will say that.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but I just feel like this is such a Mets opportunity to Met themselves. But the thing is, this has been the year of the Mets not netting themselves. Oh my God, they're actually making a run. Oh my God, they're actually clutching up games. They're not blowing leads. So I'm expecting the Mets to go up in the series and then blow up the series to the Dodgers. But this is the year where they're trying to change all that tail. So they could hold on, like Luke's saying, and actually pull this off.
I'm gonna be honest. If the Mets,
At 8 o'clock, we got Walker Buehler starting against Luis Severino.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. If
We got the
Mets
Dodgers
take
minus 115, Mets minus 105.
If the Mets take the lead in this series, I don't know if they're gonna really let that up.
Walker Buehler may or may not have a 10.8 ERA in the playoffs, so we'll see what happens. I just want to throw that out there. Not pretty.
Honestly, as much as as loaded as the Dodgers are, I think next year might be their year, not this year, because they don't have Ohtani pitching.
I really don't know how this series is going to go, but for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to take the New York Mets in 7 games.
That's crazy.
I'd take the Mets in 6.
Just to say
That's
the
even crazier. Look at us. In the words of Devin.
Because I
Let's go Mets.
honestly think if they take a 3-2 series lead over the Dodgers, I don't think they're going to slip that up. Because if they let it slip up and go into Game 7, the
New
Dodgers
York.
are probably going to win it because of all the pressure of previous years of always choking.
I just feel like, okay.
Mets take it in
will
6
be
or the
3-2.
Dodgers take it in 7.
It will be 3-2. You'll come home. The Mets will have their Mets moment of, oh my God, they lost at home and now we're going back to LA and it's done. And then they don't do it and they win. That's it. The Mets are us this year, only they can hit. We can't hit. We came into the playoffs and stopped hitting, and they came into the playoffs and started hitting. That's really the difference. Yeah. Okay, so Tyler.
So bet the over. Okay.
Tyler, can you? I know what you said before in however many games, but just for the sake of the podcast, 5, 6, 7.
I don't know.
All right, thanks.
I'm sticking
I
with my
don't
theory.
know, and I won't just say it to say
Right,
it.
but if you don't know, just give out something.
No.
I'm just going to reinforce
Thanks for
my
nothing.
theory. Mets in 6, Dodgers in 7.
All right, Mets in 6, Mets in 7. No one, he doesn't know.
Dodgers,
Cleveland,
however many.
Invalid answer. Cleveland and New York. We got the Yankees and the Guardians. It's the 1 seed versus the 2 seed, but if you want me to be honest, it looks like the 1 seed versus the 6. So we got the Yankees, who are clearly just better in the pitching department, the bullpen department, the fielding department, the hitting department, the coaching department, and really just every aspect of the baseball. So that's why they're winning the series 2-0. And the first game was all Yankees, and it wasn't close. And the second game was all Yankees, and it wasn't really close. So we go into game 3. We go back to Cleveland. The Yankees have a 2-0 series lead. I personally, and I think all of us as Tigers fans are feeling, you're on 2 sides of the spectrum. You're on the side of, damn, I wanted Cleveland to at least go beat the Yankees for us. Or you're on the side of, like me and Luke, yes, I hope the Yankees beat the ever-living dog shit out of them. So, how do we feel right now with the way the series is going?
I have not paid attention to this series since the Tigers got eliminated, so I have zero feelings whatsoever.
Game 1 was 6 sorry, I'll just tell you. Game 1 was 5-2, but it was 5-0 early, and they took him right out of it. And then game 2 was 6-3, with it being 4-0 early. So both games, it was all New York.
Go Yanks. I don't know.
Luke.
I checked out of the AL.
I know that you
strictly
are.
Dodgers right now.
I know that you're in a similar boat as me in terms of you're kind of liking what's happening right now.
I want the Guardians to get swept. I'll accept nothing otherwise. I got the Yanks in 4. I want them to do it in Cleveland. I want them to close that series out in Cleveland. Fuck all them bitches.
Sitting there.
Fuck their fans. Fuck everything about Cleveland.
I have the Yankees in 5, but I personally hope it's in 4. That would just make my heart happy. All right, that's where we're at, and I guess that's where we stand. Luke has the Yankees and the Mets. Tyler has the Dodgers and the Yankees. I have the Dodgers and the Yankees. Or I mean the Mets and the Yankees as well. So
yeah, your heart of hearts has the Dodgers and Yankees. That's why.
It's just because the Dodgers and the Yankees are the 2 best teams, and the 2 best teams never play.
Oh my God, the 2 best teams playing for the World Series. It makes no sense.
Right? It's like the Stanley Cup. It's like you don't expect the 2 best teams to actually be in the end.
Oh no,
it's only basketball.
Usually the best team is out in round 1 because they won the President's
Right.
Trophy.
I was gonna say the only sport that the best 2 teams normally are always in the finals is NBA. That's why you had the Warriors and the Cavs.
Yeah, that's why basketball fucking sucks.
That's when you had the Warriors and the Cavs for 4 years in a row. It was a dark time. Let's just say that. All right.
Chef Curry with the shot, boy.
Do you want to go to Puck Luck Picks now and then get into football because some of these games might start at 7? Luke?
The one game today starts at 9:30.
Okay. then we're good. So we'll move into NFL next after this word from the Sharps.
Might as well give Jesse some.
Sports bettors, you need to download Sharps, the better social network. With Sharps mobile app, you can tail your friends' bets with one click. See a bet you like? Just click the whale tail icon and boom, it will open in your corresponding sportsbook. Sharps securely connects to major sportsbooks like FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, and more, so you can not only track your bets, but share your bets in creative ways. So gather the degens, download Sharps for free, and join our fast-growing sports betting community.
Alrighty. NFL week number 6. We're kicking it off in London. And if you were like me and you woke up and saw what was going on in this game, you probably didn't watch. The Chicago Bears took on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Caleb Williams had the best game he has had since becoming an NFL player. 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 6 incompletions, and the Bears absolutely beat the shit out of the Jaguars. And the cherry on top is Jacksonville can't even go home, and they're being held hostage because they have to play in London again next week.
Well, they are the London Jaguars, Dylan.
Correct. Hey, you guys want to go home? No, you have to go play Drake May and the Patriots next week. So you're actually going to stay the week in London. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They're going to come out depressed is what they're going to do.
I respect the NFL for knowing they had to put this game on the schedule, so they put it in London at 9:30 so that you don't even have to watch it.
They said, hey, nobody in America would come to this game, so motherfuckers in London might show up.
Exactly. America? Is that why they make these matchups so shitty?
Why do you think they put the Jaguars in London? They got rats in their stadium, Tyler. Nobody wants to go to a Jaguars game in fucking Jacksonville. I have a source that makes sense of a man. His name is Ennis. He is a real source of somebody who lives in Jacksonville and has said personally that he will do things on Sunday so his friends don't ask him to go to Jags games.
That's crazy. I respect him for making that decision for himself and his sanity, but that's crazy.
Yeah, that shows you where they're at. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And the theme for this week, just so you know, is the NFC North is dropping their dick on everybody right now.
Well, they have the highest point differential than any other fucking division.
And they're currently on a
top 4 teams in the NFL are the top are all 4 on NFC North.
The AFC North on a 12-game winning streak. The NFC North on a 12-game winning streak.
That's crazy.
But we'll continue. We'll get into why.
Well, now we're going to swallow each other whole this weekend. So.
Yeah, well, and let's get into the next NFC North team because the Green Bay Packers took on the Arizona Cardinals at home. Midget Murray, he couldn't see.
Well, the Green Bay Packers were planning on taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Then the Green Bay Packers ended up having practice on Sunday. It got rescheduled. The game must have gotten rescheduled because the fucking Cardinals weren't there. They were not there. They did not show up to the facility. So they just put different Packers players in Cardinals jerseys and told them to go out there and pretend to play football because it looked like they were just walking through the park.
Yeah, Packers fans, not that they don't already, they're starting to piss me off, man. I watched them beat a Rams team with nobody. I watched them beat a non-existent Cardinals team, and now they want to start talking their shit at 4-2. No, okay? Fuck you. I'm sorry. Like, I understand.
You see, here's the problem, Dylan. Every single NFC North team can talk shit, and it's valid. Every single one of our teams in our division.
I would only discredit the Bears because they've only beat like teams with only 1 win.
Facts. We can still discredit Bears fans.
And then if you want to discredit the Lions, you can go ahead and do that too.
But for the first time in years, Bears fans, until next Sunday when they possibly lose, can make a valid point. Yeah. And at least have a leg to stand on.
Yes. The fact that you could see the Bears at 5-2 after next week is just insanity.
It is.
Also, we'll talk about it in a little bit. The whole Justin Fields saga. Let's just say it's getting interesting. Anyways, next game. Baltimore and Washington. The easiest push of the year. 7 points was given to all of us, and we all got that 7 points.
It's easy. Like pushes are ever easy. It's the exact fucking line. That's crazy.
I know. Baltimore 130-23. This was a great game, I will say. Jaden Daniels went out there, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar, 6 incompletions, 300 yards. I mean, they both went back and forth. The King, he feasted. Washington did not have a run game. And, when it came down to it, I think this was Baltimore's best defensive game of the year, especially going into a game where all eyes were on Washington.
Hey, shout out Mikey Sanders still. Got his first pick. Love to see it. What a dog. On Lamar Jackson. It's crazy as somebody texted him in the morning and said, that first pick against Lamar is going to go crazy. And he got the pick.
Hey now. He should have let us all know so we could bet on it. What a dick.
Right?
Post your text message on Twitter, you bitch.
Oh my God, imagine if you could bet on like specific defensive players to get picks.
Fucking I would have bet on what's his name to throw one.
Dude, imagine last year betting on Hutch to get all 3 of his picks. You know how much money you'd make?
Hey, that's a lot of fucking money for a defensive lineman pick.
Yes, sir. Now Baltimore goes to 4-2 and Washington falls to 4-2, and they both sit at the top of the division. Now we got Houston and New England. Now, I will say this was the Houston victory that you would expect if you look at the paper, 41-21. But I felt like New England fans came out of this game with a lot more takeaways than they were expecting. Drake May looked good. He threw a couple picks, but he looked good. 243 yards, 20 for 33. It was a solid showing out there. Obviously, Houston's going to come in against this New England defense and just destroy them. CJ started even 200 passing yards and had 3 touchdowns. But I do want to shout out that this is going to be one of those years for New England, and we know that. You're going to get very little glimmers of hope, very little bright spots. I think Drake May's performance right now is one of those glimmers of hope for New England.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't Spencer Rattler, thank God.
Whoa.
I know I did. Oh, Jesse!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey,
Rattler's a bum.
Rattler sucks. He was never good.
No. Not gonna do.
Imagine getting 51 points dropped on your head.
Oh yeah, like he's the defense. Shut the fuck up. Fucking dickhead. You listen right now. Spencer Rattler goes out there. First game ever. Only threw 1 pick. And the man he had his passing touchdown. But when you start the game, oh yeah, defense gives up the touchdown. Oh wait, Chris Olave, you just got fucking smashed on the ground, head to head, passed out, ball goes out of hand, touchdown defense. He can't control that. Then it's 14-0. Then they're playing from behind, brings it back. It was like 27-24 at one point. It felt like.
And then he fell off a cliff.
It was 20. It was 20. Yeah.
He was down Olave. He's down Shaheed. Wide receiver 1. Wide receiver
second
2.
half.
And Rattler only throws 1 interception.
2.
That is a good.
No, you're wrong. Actually, he came out in the second half and immediately threw another
Oh
interception.
yeah, he did those.
Yeah. Because he's bad.
But
he in a game cock. He's a cock.
he still threw 243 yards. Bad game. Tampa defense led by Top. Come on.
We all knew this was going to happen. We all know he's not that good. And
He didn't play a bet. I will stand on this for as long as I need to.
that's fine. And they'll keep losing. And you can keep standing there alone and sad.
But Drake May has a good game. Yes, he threw 3 touchdowns. That was a great game. But he had 3 turnovers.
No, he didn't. He had 2.
He had 2 picks and a
Where
fumble.
are you getting these stats from?
And a fumble, right?
That fumble was overturned.
No, they still counted it in his stats. He has a fumble. Check it.
Oh, I'm checking it.
I'll gladly be wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong.
Where does? Oh, it would be in Houston defense. Sorry, I didn't know where to go. Fumbles. Shit, I don't know how to check who. How do you check that?
Well, I can tell you like this. Look at this.
On fantasy, it does count -2 for a fumble.
Okay. I got something.
You were wrong. Say it.
I was wrong.
Thank
with
you.
Spencer Rattler. I'm glad that 3 of us agree that he's bad and Jesse's still living.
I mean,
Jesse thinks Dave McNamara is a good quarterback. So
I don't think
take
he
his
played a bad
value of
game.
quarterbacks with a grain of salt.
Did he play a bad game?
Yes.
Would you feel that way if it was like 31-27?
That doesn't matter. That's not the question.
'Cause he
The
can't
question was,
control
do you
the
think I
defense.
played a bad game? And I say yes.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy.
For Drake, like, I don't think that's a bad.
Jesse, you
A
are the
rookie
Jesse,
going
you
up
are the
against
only person that when he was
years?
playing bad in college, you thought he was playing good. Why are you surprised that you're alone on this island still?
Because he went against the Buccaneers defense.
But we all don't think he's a good quarterback. You are the only one that thinks it. He has a game where they lose 51-27 and throws 2 interceptions. You're not going to get anyone's backup here.
I don't think that's a bad game for a first game against fucking Tampa Bay.
And we disagree. So let's.
Well, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. No. So let's move on. Philadelphia and Cleveland. This game was just bad on both sides of the ball. I really wish both teams would have fucking lost.
No, they basically have Spencer Rattler at quarterback too.
Yeah. So we had Hurts come out there and have his best game that he's had so far this year, which is funny because he only threw for 260 yards. Saquon, he got shut down. I will give Cleveland credit for that. But, yeah, I think this is – I told Tyler when we were watching Red Zone, I said, I know we're not a Cleveland radio podcast, but it's about time that we just, give it up. Yeah, Deshaun's just bad now. He ain't what he is. He's never going to be that again. This is bad. He's just not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
As I told
Houston,
you,
Deshaun will never come back. Ever.
Yeah.
As I told you a week or two ago, I seen a comment and I couldn't agree more. He's a better person than he is football player now. And that
that's
says
crazy.
a lot.
Crazy. Because he is
Damn.
a
He's
shitty
a
person.
terrible.
Yeah, it was so bad that man,
That's crazy.
it was so bad that man Amari Cooper, and we'll get into the other one in the middle, got traded. He got
He
right
said,
up.
Somalia, I'm gone.
Amari Cooper literally went from having Deshaun Watson to Josh Allen overnight. It's like when you get traded from an 0-5 team to a 5-0 team. Like, I mean, yes, he was 1-5 and now what, 4-2? What are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much the same thing. But I mean, God bless that man. And then the fact that he goes on his Instagram story and what did he put? He said something like, hey, you either got to keep moving or you rust. It's like, yeah, because every time that you're in a situation where you're like, damn, I'm stuck with Dak. Here he goes over to Cleveland with Deshaun on a big deal. Damn, Deshaun's kind of ass. Here he goes over to Josh Allen on a big deal. So, that's great for Buffalo, but just even worse for Cleveland.
Maybe
he's
he's
Cleveland's
just
selling.
Maybe he's just the curse, man. Every quarterback he goes to now is just gonna turn to shit. Maybe we're looking at this wrong.
Maybe it's Cleveland.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's definitely
look
Cleveland.
at Baker.
Baker's fucking blooming.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Look at Baker. Hey, give Deshaun Kaiser one more chance. It wasn't his fault.
No one is going to ever give him a chance after Cleveland.
He went 0-13 and it wasn't his fault. XFL.
Say that again. Say that again like you mean it. You can't. You can't.
I can't believe I even remembered his name. Wow. Anyways, next game. Speaking of quarterbacks who suck dick, I wish this one was benched. Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans took on the Indianapolis Colts, and Will Levis came in, fucking immediately scores a touchdown, gets so goddamn excited that he actually got the Titans to have a lead. He started shooting fucking webs out of his hands at the crowd. He could not contain his excitement. Holy shit.
He didn't know what to do with his hands.
What the fuck do I do? He started swinging webs.
He's like, these hands usually throw picks. What the hell just happened?
Shit, what the fuck? So he takes all that energy and goes into the rest of the game, primarily the second half, because I can't really shoot him too much in the first half. The game was 10-10. Third quarter, okay, Will, we're handing the ball off a lot. We're playing really conservative. I kind of like this. Towards the end of the third quarter, the second Tony Pollard scored a touchdown. Whatever his brain says clicked in his head and told him, okay, we're winning. Now you can throw the ball. And I don't know why his brain told him that, because once he started throwing the ball, of course he throws an interception, a horrible one at that. Of course the Titans defense once again plays phenomenal football, and it means absolutely nothing because Will throws for 95 passing yards and a pick.
This man just consistently comes out, balls out in the first half, and then completely shits the bed in the second half.
Sports athlete I've ever seen in my life. Every single fucking game, it's a different meme. And as a Titans fan, let me just say, they're not funny. They're not funny.
They're hilarious.
I
They are
am
hilarious.
forever saying that Will Levis was the future of Tennessee because you guys will be drafting a third quarterback.
You know, I'd
in
rather
the
take
next 4 years.
Baker in Cleveland, dude, because at least he'd either just have an entirely bad game where you'd lose, or he'd just ball the fuck out and you just win.
Do you know
What's
The
crazy?
first half
You know
and then
what's
just
crazy
lose.
is I think that if Baker was in Tennessee right now, I think they'd be like a 1-loss team.
Yo, I saw a video on fucking Twitter today
Yeah,
of
the
Derrick
defense.
Henry, Frankie Louvu, Marcus Mariota, all after the Commanders-Ravens game, dapping up, talking about how fucking happy they are in life. And I crashed out at 3 o'clock at work, okay? I am not in a good place right now as a Titans fan. You know the fucking break emergency glass case that everybody has?
Sit down,
fucking
bitch.
breaking it. We're smashing it wide open. This is bad, man. I can't do this every fucking week with this Tennessee team. If it was Jacksonville or Cincinnati or New England or one of these 1-5 teams that you're like, okay, you can see why they're losing. They're not as good as all these other teams. But Tennessee has one of the best defenses in the league. They got a great receiving core. Tony Pollard, 100 rushing yards. And they just don't have a quarterback. It's infuriating.
They got to go to Buffalo. Another loss.
Wow. It's crazy. Okay. Let's get
Question.
into the 1 o'clock slate.
Oh wait, did we? With
What's
the
up?
for Buffalo. You know how we all just gave up on Buffalo finally because then they lost Diggs, so they didn't really have a number one receiver, and then they just started fucking balling out of nowhere.
Yep.
And it was almost like the solution to their problem.
Yep.
Do you think they're going to go back to being a disaster now that they have a number one receiver as in Amari Cooper?
I think we're going to find out because at the end of the day, they beat Miami with Tua, which was good dub, but they beat Jacksonville and the Jets. Lost to Houston and Baltimore. I need more. Well, and now they play Tennessee, so like, yes, it's the NFL. Yes, it's football. You know, anything can happen. But like, let's be honest, they ain't played nobody. And when
basically what just to sum up what Jesse said, they lost to the playoff contending teams and they beat the dog shit teams. Okay, all right. Well, you did what you were supposed to do, but you also lost the games that you could have proven yourself in. So, skip it.
Yeah. All right. 4 o'clock slate. Let's kick it on off with the Chargers and the Broncos. Broncos defense looked good. Chargers offense looked good. Chargers defense looked the best. And that was the story of this game. 23-16 was the final from Denver. Herbert, I also do want to shout out. That was one of the best first halves of passing that I've seen in a long fucking time. He was down everybody.
Hey, that was the first game he threw over 200.
Yeah, primarily the first half. I think he was 17.
Yeah, because Jim let him throw.
And he
Jim
was,
got sick. Jim was delusional. He said,
no, it's because
"Fuck,
Jim
just
wasn't.
throw."
Yeah.
If Jim would have been fully healthy, he would have had 190, maybe.
The defensive coordinator got a hold of the play call. Defensive coordinator got a hold of the play call and said, "Wait a minute, we can pass here."
Jim's identity is defense and running.
Jim was sick.
It's actually fucking crazy. The like 180 that the Chargers defense has done just from Jim and the new coaches with like a couple of new guys, but a lot of the same players. Because the Chargers defense usually couldn't stop fucking anybody. Now, all of a sudden, they can fucking make stops and make plays. It's
no more losing games with Khalil Mack still having 5 sacks. I agree.
right. Like if Jim had Khalil Mack,
he still does. He does. Khalil Mack is on the team.
Oh, he's back still?
I was gonna say Khalil Mack.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
Oh
still
shit!
There.
All right, bet yeah.
He had a forced fumble.
That's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
Jim has Khalil Mack.
Return up the Mac. Yeah. He's still there.
Tells you how much I pay attention to the Chargers this year.
Yeah, I know you don't.
No.
Also, how many rushing attempts did Blake Corum have this game? We'll move on. Pittsburgh and Vegas. The answer was 0. That's why it was still 0. I'm just gonna keep saying that till they get him in the fucking game. Pittsburgh and Vegas.
Well, he was on.
He didn't play this week.
Yeah, he was on bye.
He's on the Rams. He's not on the Chargers.
Yeah, this isn't Michigan.
He still didn't
Oh
play.
my god, I just had a Michigan moment because of Harbaugh.
He still didn't play. You're technically right.
Oh, he did.
Yes.
Still?
He had 8 attempts in week 2 and then 5 in week 5 before the bye.
Okay, so he has seen the field.
Yeah, he's technically the backup, but it's Kyron Williams. So like,
He's
Yeah.
the third. He's the third.
Until
No,
Kyron gets
like-
fucking hurt,
They
Carr really isn't gonna see the fucking field.
they demoted Pierre Pipe, whatever his name is. He got switched out after the bye. They just haven't played yet.
Yeah,
But that's what they claim.
Corum started
they
as
did that for
RB2.
That's what they claim. That's what they claim.
Rivers.
Yeah, they just kind of went away from Rivers too, and just
What's wrong
put
with Rivers? Rivers had
Corum
60
back
yards
in.
last week.
I know, but I'm just speaking on what
Man,
I
this is fucked up, man. This is fucked. Justice for Rivers. All right,
Corum's a dog.
Pittsburgh and Vegas. Pittsburgh wins 32-13 in this football game. Justin Fields comes out 14 for 24, 145 yards. And for those of you who are like, that's an interesting stat line, that's been a stat line all fucking year. He has maybe 200 yards or under, a touchdown or 2, and then they come out, they take their run game, which is right now Najee Harris. Last year it was Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, but Jalen Warren's been injured the last couple of games. He came back this game, only got 6 carries, and Najee had 100 rushing yards again. So really, it's just been Najee Harris as the main guy.
Yeah. Where the fuck was this last year when I had him in fantasy? What the fuck?
Well, now
he was
Now
splitting
not-
carries.
I know, but still, even with his carries,
give
he
a-
still
they don't
he
give a
still
fuck
wasn't rushing as good as he is this
They
year.
don't give a fuck about your fantasy, Luke.
Plus, you have to worry about Fields
Fucked up.
running, play actions. You didn't have to worry about Mason Rudolph fucking running away from you.
But so
Can he
here's,
pick
what
it?
here's the argument I want to bring up to the podcast. Okay, I want to lay this out here, and then I want to let you guys run with this. Okay, so Justin Fields in his games, like I mentioned, I have stat lines here: 14 for 27, 14 for 21, 16 for 24, 14 for 24. All those games under 200 passing yards, you'll get a touchdown or 2, and they're 4-2.
Wait, hold on. Where are you getting your stats from?
Where are you getting your stats from?
On ESPN.
That's where I'm getting mine. So please explain to me what you're seeing.
I mean, I saw 312 yards and 245 yards in 2 games.
Okay, yes, those were his 2 best games. I'm trying to make a point here, and you're trying to ruin my point. How you doing this?
I'm just, I gotta, me, I defend the quarterbacks that get pooped on. I'm just here for it. He's benched, so either way,
Okay, yeah, like, goddamn,
enough.
that's my point. Holy shit!
But
that was so mean.
you got to give Russell a chance. You got to see what he can do with the offense and then decide.
So because of the stat line that was mentioned, now they have taken that and they have said, hey, we don't know if you're the starting quarterback or not. My question was going to be, Jesse, what do you think? But you already kind of fucking ruined all that by doing what you did. So just go ahead.
Justin Fields, who has fucking 10 touchdowns on the season with only 1 interception. That's my guy. That's who I go with. Like, even though he can't get the touchdowns for real, like their kicker is working overtime, I still feel like he hasn't done anything wrong to get him, out the starting job. But hey, I I don't know.
Give Russell a chance. I want to see what Russell can do.
I don't know.
want
That's
to
true,
see
but
Russell go.
with
I want to see Russell go. I want to
Yes.
see what Russell does.
technically the decision's not decided fully yet.
But
But-
you know what the right decision is.
Yeah, Justin Fields.
Yeah, but you do give Russ a chance. You do.
That's what I'm saying. The right decision is to see what Russell does.
Because you could get rid of Russ and it won't feel the same as getting rid of somebody young like Fields. Even though Russ has the experience and everything, you can't really build with him for as long. So what do you got with both?
I would be shocked, utterly shocked, if Russell did, had less than 15, 16 incompletions like Justin.
Fucking put them both out there.
Do what fucking Florida's doing. Just split the snaps.
Not even. Just put them both out there at the same
Wow.
time. You don't know who the ball's going to get hyped to.
Yeah,
You don't know if they're going to throw a trick play in there.
I agree. Run them both.
Like they're considering. We don't know what we're gonna do. You know?
Literally just put Justin Fields in at running back.
Yeah. Hand the ball off to him and just let him throw a dot down the field.
I think they should. I think if they're smart, that's what they would do. All righty. Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta won 38-20. They had a better offense, a better defense, a better coach, and a better everything. Sorry, Carolina. It's just what it is.
That's tough.
No, this game surprised me. Like
It did?
in a matter of like, I thought Kirk would end up throwing a little more, but he didn't throw as much. Like, yeah, he threw the ball 30 times, but like they ran it more times than they threw it, and they
You got to remember how many times Kirk just threw the ball in prime time. This motherfucker needs a day off.
Yeah. I felt that. I feel that, but I was like,
This made me feel better about Atlanta because it showed me they can do more than just throw the ball 50 times every game with Kirk. So they have multiple options on offense. It's more sustainable.
Yeah.
So like
go.
for that reason alone, I felt better about Atlanta, but Carolina still looks solid.
Yeah, they're fine. It's just the situation of
It's just their talent is not as good as other teams' talent. So if they're
Yeah.
playing one of their good games and so is the other team, they're just not going to come out on top.
I agree. I 100% agree. Tyler Algier, 105 rushing yards. Bijan Robinson, 100 total yards in total. So, yeah, I agree. That running game was just dominant. All right, let's get into the last 4 o'clock game. And this was the ass beating of the week down in Dallas. Talk about getting dick down in Dallas. My God. The Lions
that
go
was
down
loud.
to the Lone Star State and come into, honestly, AT&T Stadium and just take it over. The fans took it over. The team took it over. 47-9 was the final. Jared Goff, 18 for 25, 315 yards. Jamison Williams and Trayvon Diggs was the biggest mismatch of the year that nobody saw coming. Trayvon Diggs was quoted at one point saying, "I just can't keep up with him, man. I just can't keep up." And honestly, that made me really happy as a Lions fan. But on top of all the beautiful success and happiness that came out of this game, there is one sad, big cloud that is overhead, and that is that Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg and is out for the year. So, the
He
win,
didn't just break his leg.
and
He
Hutchinson.
decimated his leg.
they're kind of separate here. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the win and then the Hutchinson situation?
I'd trade the win for Hutch back.
Okay, somebody else go before. This
I don't think I've heard that opinion yet, like at all.
would you
I
trade?
have neither, and I listened to the radio all
That's
day.
how you feel.
Would you trade 47-9 us losing and Hutchinson being completely healthy? It was 47-9 to Dallas in Dallas.
Yeah, because there's a lot of the season left. We can still grind it out.
Wow.
Wow, I don't feel that
And it
way.
wouldn't be anything new getting fucked over in Dallas.
That's not a fuck over. That's just you.
I would. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
I don't know if I can get. I don't know if
I
anybody
can't agree.
can get on board with that.
I can't get on board. No way. I wouldn't want to show up next week.
I can't say I understand your feelings. I keep.
It's a deeply
I hear
rooted
you.
Michigan thing, is what
I
it feels
hear you.
like.
But at the same, like
Mm,
whether we make a move to do something about that presence being gone, I can't say I wanted to. I would rather have lost that game.
Well, we found out 2 things. We found out that Cleveland's selling, and we'll get to it in a minute. We also found out that Vegas is selling. Why is that important? That means that Myles Garrett and Max Crosby are now people that you could potentially have in your defense.
Max Crosby's
Yeah,
got-
and the Lions have already come out and said that they're not going to sell the farm to get just a big star.
You don't need to sell the farm. You need to catch them. I mean, we have seen the dumbest fucking deals this year. We have seen people get traded for a bag of chips and then some. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. What I'm saying is that they might be able to get away with getting somebody without giving everything away. That's all that I'm saying. We'll see. We'll see. And then, we won the game. Hutchinson's out. We're going to see what happens from there. But with Hutchinson being out, I also do want to shout out this defense and this secondary. Our safeties are good. Oh, my God. Kirby and Brian locked up. This was the best game that they've had all year. I think that if you would have counted Kirby's first interception that would have been called, that would have been 4 interceptions from them, right? Because Brian had 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, huge game from them.
Hey, hear me out. Brian and Kirby is the new Slay and Diggs.
All right, well, I have another opinion, Tyler, and I want to know how the rest of this podcast feels, okay? Because I know this is going to be controversial. I already know. I think that Aiden Hutchinson, losing him, does it suck? Yes. Do I think he's the biggest impact player on our defense? No. I think he's number 2. I think the biggest player impact-wise on our defense when he's in and not in the lineup is Brian Branch.
I agree 100%.
Thank you. When Brian Branch is on this defense and when he's not on this defense, there is a huge impact in the secondary. When he is on the field, he's involved in every single play.
If you run nickel, you get him and Kirby on the field at the same time. That's dangerous.
I think Brian Branch is our most.
We had 2 interceptions in nickel because the 2 of those motherfuckers are on the field at the same time. Coverage is locked down. When you have Brian Branch in at safety specifically, that's dangerous.
Yes.
I feel like you'll see a lot more Brian Branch blitz packages next week, too.
Jesse, Luke, how do you guys feel about that? I know it's controversial.
I don't know if I agree with that because you also got to think about just the pressures.
We also unlocked fucking
forced the QB to do a lot of shit.
Or Onzarike. We unlocked him for the first time in 4 years. That has helped Hutch a lot.
I think when it comes
plus DJ Reader, obviously.
At the end of the day, I feel like Hutch got injured like beginning of the second, like halfway through the second. Right?
Pretty sure it was like
second.
I
thought it was
beginning of the third.
Before halftime?
Was it beginning of the third?
I thought it was second half. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like even though we were already beating that up, already putting belt to ass, it still feels like the defense did its thing without Hutch. I don't know if that can be sustained. And like the Cowboys are trash. Like right now they're buns. Like I don't know if it was just our defense kind of thing because they barely scrapped it out with the Giants.
That boy Trayvon Diggs said, I got
I'll say this to that, Jesse. Yes, does a big star player go down, it produces a lot of motivation, especially to finish that game. But also, we were beating them down pretty bad, and basically a lot of the Cowboys just were already kind of.
I think to add to what Jesse's point is, it doesn't do it so much for the game; it does it for the season. You have something to play for. You have
unless they're gonna go on a whole Michigan run when Zinter got hurt and go win the Natty.
Yeah, the Natty.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's like, but at the same time, in the NFL, that shit only gets you so far. It's not really college.
I think I like it better that it's not college.
It's like if Nick Bosa goes down on the 49ers, we're talking different about 49ers defense.
Right. So I don't think the Lions defense is still going to be just as good. That's not what I'm saying. But I expect that the Lions defense is not going to do what everyone thinks it's going to do, which is just immediately turn back into dog shit.
Because the secondary is so much better.
Correct.
Defense works up. I feel like the pressure you get makes the quarterback have to throw kicker, which if your guys have good coverage in the backfield, they can play on that bad throw. And I feel like it works up. So I just hope the guys that are there and, we just need the D-line.
Hey, James Houston can play now.
God damn it.
The D-line to step up.
All I'm saying is if we don't fill up the Hutch hole to at least and get like a player that can fill up 70% of what Hutch was, we are looking to scraping in the playoffs.
Yeah, was it you, Fuller?
On top of it in the playoffs.
Was it you, Fuller?
You told me you were thinking about buying one. I need to know.
Don't tell us it was you, Fuller. Don't tell us you were the one that bought the Hutchinson jersey and triggered the jersey curse. Don't tell me that all the respect that I have for you is just going to get shot down the fucking drain. Please. Please.
I remember it, Minnesota fan. You were talking like you might buy a Hutch jersey to curse.
You are 5-0 and you go out of your way to curse our player?
He says he swears.
Yeah.
He says he swears. We'll trust him.
I trust your word, Fuller. You
Go
don't
buy a
lie to us.
Justin Jefferson jersey, bud.
Closet search
Fuck you.
immediately. Sorry, pal.
He'll be at Texas Achilles. Wow. 2 more games. Cincinnati and the Giants. Shout out to Cincinnati. They won, but it was very similar to the Packers game. They came in here and they had a bye week. They had a practice. They they took their win and they said thank you.
2-4, garbage. Shouldn't be here, but at the same time, defense has made it clear that we have a reason to be here. Now, I am not happy with the 17-7 victory at all. I want that to be known. I'm not happy.
This game sucked.
This game was garbage.
It was bad.
You know how hard it is to watch a game of football supporting a team that's playing the Giants, not beating their ass, and trying to defend the Bengals at the same time? Do you know how difficult that is to do to two people that already don't like the Bengals? Oh, my God. I had a terrible time watching this first half. Let me just say that. I went back to my home at halftime because I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I'm not going to sit here in front of these people and defend them.
I don't need to do this.
Because, shit, I don't even feel like it because 17 points is too little. I don't care how good the Giants' defense is. Guess what? They've been scored on more than 17 points most of these games. Therefore, we suck. We got to pull it together. Best 2-4 team.
I'll fucking give you that. Sure. Let's get to. Actually, no. I think this 2-4 team is better. Yeah. Sorry. Jets. I think after they just acquired who they acquired, I think they might be a little better. Bills.
Jets, coach. Neither do we.
The Bills and Jets. They had a great Monday night battle. Honestly, this was a great football game. It was back and forth. It all came down to the very last possession of the game when Mike Williams was another victim to that damn MetLife turf and just dinkied on a fucking slip and slide wide open. Falls, interception, game over. Aaron Rodgers comes back to the front office. He goes, look, all right, so we got Salah out of here, and you saw what happened with Mike Williams, right? Yeah, that shit ain't going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to
put him on the trade block.
We're going to take Devontae Adams, and we're going to bring his ass here by any way possible, because if you won't get Mike Williams out of here, get Devontae in, so I have Allen Lazard and Devontae Williams, and I won't even think about anybody else, because Packers are going to Packer.
I have 3 things to say. That's
24
all. I
hours
just want
later,
to get these 3 things
Adams
off. That's it.
Is now a Jet.
Clearly, he just didn't like the Packers organization because he brings as many people from the organization as players that he possibly can. Even brought a coach. 2,
Please talk about the Devontae thing. How Devontae literally said, I have to intervene. I'm sorry.
He was on the plane before.
He said he wanted to leave Green Bay because he knew that Aaron Rodgers was not going to be in the league any longer. He said, this is probably going to be his last league. If Rodgers is out, get me out of Green Bay. They get him out of Green Bay to Vegas. He realizes, oh, shit, Derek Carr, after he gets traded, I'm in a whole problem where I don't have a quarterback. And then now we're 3 years later, and you're back with Rodgers, who had 1 year in your head 3 years ago.
Well, I mean, if you watch the Receiver show on Netflix, you know that Adams thought he was going to die in
it's only
in Las
Jimmy
Vegas.
I said after I watched that show, I realized Jimmy Garoppolo is a bad quarterback because he tried to kill Devontae Adams multiple times. Yes, I agree. He did.
And the other thing I have to say is I feel like in the NFL, we've seen hundreds, thousands of goddamn fullback dives where a holding occurs and we're just not calling that shit because
I've never seen a fullback dive holding call.
That fullback dive holding call was crazy.
I've never seen that in my life.
That's a never before seen holding call for sure.
Braylon Allen got fucking hoed.
I'm like, what did I just watch?
Yeah, I agree.
There's nowhere to go. I mean, he just started moving and he didn't. Bullshit.
The Jets are 2-4, but I think the Jets think they are a lot better than they are right now, which is another reason why they just acquired Devontae.
They're 4-2 in their eyes. But
I don't know. All right, look, I don't know what kind of dirt Aaron Rodgers has on the general manager or the general manager's daughter or somebody in the family, but Aaron Rodgers is essentially like running the team. Like, he's in charge of who's on the team, who's coaching the team.
He's like LeBron.
And things are going so poorly, so I don't understand why they keep letting him make decisions.
Also, quick segue. If you haven't watched the new Netflix show for the starting five, I think it's hilarious how it starts with LeBron saying, "Everyone always says I'm like the coach, but really I have no like pull." And the entire docuseries is him making all the decisions. Like literally 5 minutes after he says that.
Is that why your son's playing with you now?
Bro, 5 minutes after he says, "Everyone thinks I'm the coach, but I'm just a player, and actually I have no control." 5 minutes after he says that, the first game of the year, he learns he's on a minutes restriction. He walks into the GM's office. He goes, "We had a long conversation, and let's just say people won't have to worry about my minutes the rest of the year." It was game 2. And it was like, 5 minutes ago, you just said you have no pull.
He doesn't have any pull, but
brain.
he got his son's
Question?
agent to call everybody. Hey, don't draft my kid. He will not. Don't draft Bronny. He
all
won't
the
sign
pull.
with you. He literally has all the pull in the league.
Fullest,
The
the
fuck?
question for the entire pod: how much longer do you honestly think that Aaron Rodgers is going to stay in the league? I think that if he gets sacked 3 to 4 times a game, like his average has been so far, his body is already retired, but mentally, it's just 2 more years.
I'll tell you what, I think this is his last contract.
Yeah, this 2-year deal he's on. I think when it's over, he's done.
Yeah, because I think no matter what, because if he can't get there, it's dead to him. If he gets there, it's dead to him.
Physically, he's already retired.
I think this is the last dance. He got his boy back.
There's only so much ayahuasca that a man can do until it's just time to hang him up,
Bro, that's not going to stop the football, but I hear you.
Yeah. Also, Tom Brady is officially now retired, for those of you who don't know, because he's officially a minority owner for the Raiders. And once you're an NFL owner, you cannot play in the NFL football league.
Yeah, you also can't talk shit about officials or other
But
teams.
yeah, he's now officially retired.
So,
Officially.
what a broadcaster.
He had to broadcast that Lions-Cowboys game, but that was fun. All right, we're an hour and 15 minutes in. We talked about football. We've talked about baseball. The only thing left is puck luck picks. Let's get into it. Also, I went 3-0.
No, you didn't,
You went 2-1.
What game did I get wrong? I was with Jesse.
bro.
You had your pick confused.
Which one did I have confused? I was with you.
I swear Dylan doesn't get text messages in the chat.
Yeah.
We did talk about this immediately when you said it in the chat.
You said it in the chat, and I immediately
didn't
took the game, and I was like, no, you didn't.
Buffalo won. I had Buffalo.
Okay.
Detroit won. I had Detroit. Utah won. I had Utah. Where's the confusion? 3-0.
You didn't have Buffalo.
Yes, I did. I had Buffalo.
No, you
I was
didn't.
the first one to pick Buffalo.
Dylan's picks in the
I will pull up the clip
picks
right now.
say Utah, Predators, Sabres.
You had
Yes,
Sabres.
thank you. I went 3-0.
Oh, it says you didn't take the Wings. You took Preds.
Oh, you're right. Fuck.
You took the Preds.
Damn it, I did take the Predators.
So
Fuck.
2-1 is 2-1.
Ty is 3-0. Everyone else is 2-1.
Oh, golden horseshoe, boy, is fucking 3-0. I'm crashing out.
You put him in last.
Did everybody else go 3-0?
No, I'm saying
No.
because we all went 2-1.
Oh,
That is bollocks.
Yeah, no. We're all
Yeah,
tied for second, all right?
That's bollocks. I watched all 3 of these games and celebrated when all 3 of them happened.
He did. He was talking to me.
So bad.
He was like,
I
was
celebrated
3-0.
after each one.
started
I was
the year
just
fucking
talking
3-0.
my shit. I was
and you were
celebrating-
on the Preds.
Maybe if Stamkos actually wakes the fuck up and starts playing
Oh,
hockey,
who cares?
the
He's 50
Preds
years
might have
old.
won
Fuck
that
him.
game.
Fuck Stamkos. He's 50 years old. What are the games?
Game number 1 is happening tonight at 9:30 p.m. The Boston Bruins are headed to Colorado to take on the Avalanche.
Avalanche suck. They haven't even won a game. They're like,
I already bet on this game, so I got to do it. I took the Bruins. I'm going to take the Bruins in the puck luck picks. They are in a parlay.
Big B's.
imagine not winning a game yet.
And they're just gonna keep
So what?
tumbling
are you taking
down.
the Bruins?
rolling.
No, I'm just shitting on the Avalanche. Because I know that this is the only time I'm ever going to be able to shit on them until they start winning games. Yeah, it's probably gonna start tonight. Give me Colorado.
I was about to say, in hockey, it doesn't matter how shit you
Yeah.
are, you're gonna eventually win a game.
It'll probably start.
And I
tonight.
got the fucking Avs.
I respect it.
Game number 2 is happening Thursday at 7 p.m. And the
Take the dogs.
sorry, the dogs just poked their head through my door, and that kind of scared me. Anywho, the Vegas Golden Knights are headed to Tampa to take on the Lightning.
Is Tampa good still? I don't know. I didn't know anything about them.
Give me the over 6.
I need something.
Also, the over-under for the Bruins and Avs, even though no one took it, is 6.5. But this
Luke?
over-under is 6.
I know nothing about them this year. Are they good? Are they bad? Or do we still not know what they are?
I mean, they're above mid.
Give me the.
No, there's no way they're still above mid. Give me Vegas. There's no way. You said that way too unconfidently. Give me
I
Vegas.
said that pretty confidently. I'm gonna be honest.
Give me Vegas. Give me
You
Vegas.
act like that's not just his tone. That's just the way he talks.
I know, but I can read Luke. Not really, but give me Vegas.
I was about to say.
No one can read Luke. Luke can't read Luke. Vegas. Who are we waiting for? Why is it silent?
Jesse, who'd you have?
Vegas. That's what I took.
Ty.
Oh, Luke didn't hear anyone.
I took the over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Over 6. Okay.
Yeah, you did hear me. Yeah.
Well, I'm taking Tampa Bay. They're at home. They got a lot to play for. They're doing it for the people who are going through crisis right now. And in hockey, that is a very big motivator. I'm taking the Lightning.
Boo, you're on Bridge. Oh.
Shut the fuck up. Game number 3. Speaking of crisis, coincidentally, Friday night at 7 p.m., the Carolina Hurricanes are going to Pittsburgh.
God damn it, Luke.
You're horrible for that transition. You're
And-
horrible.
What a transition by the guy. Wow.
Bro goes, we're going to do it for the people.
He goes,
in fucking
speaking
Florida.
No, do you know what's
Right.
fucked up?
Let's go.
No. Do you know what's
Oh my
fucked up is
God.
the league having Tampa's first home games
Oh my
against
God.
Carolina.
You didn't help.
That was postponed, so
You
they
didn't
didn't
help
actually
this.
play it. They didn't play the games, but the
So you're
home
telling
opener
me-
for Tampa
you're
Bay
telling
would have
me-
been against the Carolina Hurricanes.
No.
You're
don't
telling
put him in
me that
Gary's
the
mistake.
Carolina Hurricanes didn't come to town because the real hurricane came to town?
Yes,
Oh my God.
quite
Why are
literally,
you
yes.
laughing? That's not funny. People are dying.
No, they're not dying. They either already died or they lost a house or something. But like it's over.
This is why we're gonna. I thought I was gonna get this canceled, but
They're going to Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins, which is weird because Penguins are in the North fucking Pole.
What the fuck? Is this still hockey? What's going on?
This is why we don't do podcasts this long, because we just get off the fucking rails.
Hey.
There's no
hey,
over-under
no.
for this game because it's on fucking Friday. So take it.
Why are we doing
Fucking-
it?
Take it at your own risk.
Take it at your own risk,
Fucking
baby.
leave it. Money
I
line
can guarantee
only,
it's
baby.
probably going to be around 6.
Give me the Hurricanes.
Yeah, give me.
I've
Cam.
seen nothing but domination from Hurricanes the past couple weeks. Give me Carolina.
How do I play for both teams to lose?
You
You
shoot out.
take the under, bro.
Too long.
Everybody loses.
Okay, give me the under.
Everybody loses on an
I
under.
just want the people at this game to like leave the game and be like, yeah, I should have stayed home today.
That's so fucked.
Sounds fucked up, but I'm taking the Canes.
I
Yeah.
like Carolina.
If
I also
this,
like misery sometimes.
I hope you know, if they didn't postpone the game in Tampa against the Canes, I was putting that game in here and I was hammering the fucking Lightning. Because that would have been a revenge game for the state.
For the state. Oh, wait.
Dylan, you.
I was looking dead into Jesse's soul.
I felt like you were looking at me, but I had to say something. But yeah, no, that's your pump up picks. We got through all three, and if you didn't hear those ones, you simply weren't listening enough, and you got sidetracked. Stay on topic when you're listening to the picks.
So Dylan, just to reinsure it again to you, and you have the Avs, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the under in the Hurricanes and Penguins. If you need to go back to check, it is in the notes.
Bookmark at 120 to 120.
I can't hear you, Dylan.
Because you're muted in computer land.
You're muted.
No,
Who muted me?
you muted.
I don't know. It
I
wasn't me.
never mute myself, so Tyler muted me.
I didn't mute you.
I think
You're lying. You definitely muted me.
What?
Yeah, I fucking knew it. I can't fucking do it. I was gonna say I can't even mute myself.
everyone can mute themselves. I could stop
Tyler
talking
mutes
right-
me and then goes.
Yeah, you can mute
You're
yourself. Everybody
You're
can.
muted. I know you.
There's
did
a
it.
mute
Unmute
button.
me.
There's a mute button, jackass.
He's got his shit full screen. You can't see it. Well, yeah, you can still see it now. You're just.
I don't want him to
Do-
see it.
Do we end the podcast now or?
What, do you got something else?
Oh,
I
give
don't know.
me,
I mean,
give
fucking,
me
you
the
guys
Mets.
you guys clearly are just still talking. So I'm like,
give
more to say?
me the Mets.
Oh no, actually, you're wrong. We do
Yeah,
have more
in
to
what?
say.
Mets in what? Mets in what?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. This is important.
What's the series right now? 1-1.
Y'all are about to put me
Yeah.
on Dodger
Yep,
Island?
yep,
What is going
yep.
on?
1-1.
Yep.
Oh, Mets in.
Tyler doesn't even know
Dodger
what the
Island
Tyler
looks
doesn't even know
so
what the
good.
Dodgers are gonna
I'm
win.
not gonna lie. I think the Mets win it at home, Game 6.
That's what
Boom,
Luke has.
baby!
That's what Luke does. I have him in 7.
Listen, Ty, to be fair, I have the
don't see them
Mets
winning
if it's in
in
game
Dodgers.
6, but if it goes to game 7,
Yeah,
I do
if
think
it goes,
the Dodgers
if
will
it
take
goes
it.
7.
Look, I've never wanted to be on an island more than with one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, no,
All right, last
It's
thing
the
before we
island.
roll out of here, because we're already at a fucking hour and a half, and we got to get this shit done, and then we're out.
I,
Thursday night football. The Denver Broncos are going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. It is Sean Payton's revenge game. The spread is -3.5 points for Denver. Over under 37. Jesse,
Give
who do you
Me, Denver.
got? Tyler's got Denver. Jesse,
Spencer Rattler over 187 yards.
what's your play of the game?
Fucking Broncos.
You damn right it is. Bronco defense against Spencer Rattler. It's going to be a fucking match.
It's because he doesn't have a
Fucking
lot of their
Broncos are gonna
speed.
beat the dog shit QB. No to
No,
Spencer
it
Rattler.
has nothing to do with the QB battle.
It has everything to
He
do with
doesn't have
it.
his receivers. Remember that, people. When he gets his folks back and he's running, well, when he gets his folks back, Carl will be back, and we won't know until
QBs
next.
make it work.
Never know. And then in 2 years, when we see him on
Bad
Carolina
QBs
on
don't.
a winless football team, we'll all know why. That's the podcast. Thank you guys for
He
watching.
doesn't know what he's talking about.
If you want to check us out on the socials, that is Sharps Sports Network on Instagram, on YouTube, on X, on Twitch, on all social media platforms. Like us, follow, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so every time we go live, every Wednesday, every Saturday, you're here and you're with us. Make sure you download the Sharp Sports betting app over on the App Store. Use promo code TYCO0111. It will help 011. Sorry, I had an extra fucking 1 there. It will help you a great deal. It says it right down there. God damn it. Just read, do, and we appreciate you. Next time we will be live will be this Saturday to preview all the games that are going on and the MLB playoffs and everything else under the sun in the world of sports.
Just
I'm the
fall
killer.
out of the chair, damn it.
I'm falling, damn it. We'll see you next time. Peace. Fuck.